Disgusting smut peddler and enemy of the channel Adam22 is getting goofed on by the entire internet. This story is a couple days old, but I'm jumping on it now, rather late than never, because this guy is an enemy, and we're gonna have to dive into all the reasons why Adam22 is disgusting. Hey, how's it going? I'm your friendly neighborhood gatekeeper, Dan Frampton, and I've already made one video about this guy, maybe a couple months ago, when he was accused of some really disgusting type predatory stuff. But since then, there hasn't been really any updates, and this story here is certainly not an update to that, but it is a little bit of a dog pile, okay? Because Adam22, a couple days ago, made a big announcement. Now, if you're not familiar with who Adam22 is, let me try to explain it, okay? He has this podcast called No Jumper. It's kind of like, I don't know, like a podcast network. There's a bunch of different podcasts. He also likes to engage in coitus and film it with his wife and other people, okay? And also sell that. So he's a little bit of a smut peddler and a little bit of a podcast monger, okay? This is the kind of guy we're dealing with. He's got tattoos all over himself. He thinks he has the coolest podcast. He thinks he interviews the coolest people. He's this kind of guy, okay? He got famous kind of by interviewing rappers and, more importantly, interviewing the rappers' girlfriends after they were girlfriends. So interviewing rappers' exes and getting all the dirty, juicy, intimate details, okay? This is what this guy made his money doing. Lowest hanging fruit. Lowest common denominator, Adam22, enemy of the channel, smut peddler, filthy, disgusting human being, okay? He made a big announcement. And before I get into this, I just gotta say, I don't care what kind of relationship that you wanna have. You can have an open relationship, you can be monogamous, I don't care what it is that you're doing, it's all A-okay, okay? But this is just all to show why Adam22 is getting goofed on so hard right now. By the end of this, you're gonna realize why people are calling him a predator, a pervert, and now a cuck, which is pretty much the trifecta of awful on the internet, you know what I mean? And on top of it all, it's just a bunch of cringe. So I don't know, he might have ruined his career, but I don't think he actually did. I think the guy makes too much money and has too much going on for this to ruin him. It's just a bunch of fun to goof on him for being a stupid, silly idiot. First, I'm gonna break it down, and then we're gonna get into these clips, okay? So Adam22, that podcast guy that I was just talking about, he just got married to a 7-year-long partner, Lena the Plug. Now, Lena the Plug is like a OnlyFans star. She does all sorts of filming of that kind of content, okay? She is an adult entertainer, and she's only been filming with one guy for this entire career, and that one guy was Adam22. Now, of course, they would invite other girls in all the time, no big deal, but they didn't really classify it as an open relationship. And it was anything but an open relationship, okay? Adam could kind of do whatever he wanted, he could bring in whoever he wanted, but Lena the Plug, no, get back here, you can't be doing anything like that. But anyway, so in this clip, he makes an announcement. He's opened the parameters of the business, so to speak. Okay, so now Lena the Plug is now taking other dick. He made that announcement ironically on a podcast that has Destiny on the panel, and Destiny is internet's most favorite open relationship guy, the one that everybody calls like a cuck or whatever, for this clip here, Mel Time. Are you familiar with this Mel Time thing? Blue-haired guy here, this is Destiny, famous and influential streamers or whatever. And this is his girlfriend back here, Mel. They are in an open relationship. Now, anytime anyone talks about cuckoldry, they say it's Mel Time because of this clip.
I would probably figure out like the basic steps, and I would figure out like how to do everything.
All right,
Even
let's
though
find out.
no.
Find out.
In Destiny's face.
Uh-oh.
No.
Mel time.
It's Mel Time.
Mel time. It's Mel time.
Oh man, now most guys in relationships would find this very hard to be in a room where this is happening. I don't know if I'd have the gut or the fortitude to be able to handle this, and especially if it gets to like an intimate level. But this is just kind of like a nice G-rated version to kind of sum it all down. Now, this kind of thing would make most guys feel a little bit sick to their stomach. They're not going to want to know it, okay? But let's see how Adam22 approaches this topic.
So I've been with my girl for 7 years. We just got married. We're not in an open relationship, but from a perspective, we shoot with other girls, stuff like
When he says they're not in an open relationship, Destiny down there at the bottom just nodding. Now, Destiny doesn't say anything in this entire clip. It's just funny as hell that he's also in this clip that is making the rounds. All we need now is Sneeko to join the chat.
But no other guys.
Well, you guessed it.
On his face. Well, you guessed it.
The weekend,
Oh no.
Something like that happened.
she filmed her first ever scene with another man.
I know
She filmed her first ever scene with another man. Now, he's saying it like it's all just like business as usual, but he's the kind of guy that never wanted this to happen, okay? Now, this is not like in his mind like an open relationship. He's just opening the parameters of his business.
you was mad.
Shit.
You was angry.
I agreed to it, so I wasn't. I say angry might not be the word.
But you was kind of like disappointed a little bit. Like, you vibe like cut, that's your sitch.
You know, I agreed to it. She gave me
And the guy is pretty funny.
a lot of outs on the way in. Like, she kind of kept telling me, like, if you don't want me to, I won't do it.
You should
know?
have said no.
I said that I wanted
You
her
already
to do
got
it. I'm
millions
like,
on top of millions of dollars, Adam. You that?
Oh, and you know that she's been asking him about it for like at least over a year, you know what I mean? And now it's finally happening.
Do that shit.
fair enough. But I
Come
told her,
on,
I'm like, I think you should do it. Let's get it out the way.
So how do you vibe about it now?
She's
Do I need
32.
to get you an old English?
No. Yeah, I don't need to drown the pain in the old English. But I was kind of surprised because I feel like I can like intellectualize it, and from my perspective, I don't think it should be a big deal.
He can intellectualize it, and he doesn't think it should be a big deal. That's all great that you could say those words out loud, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean people on the internet aren't going to make a big deal about it, all right? They love making fun of people here on the internet. But if you're just a man passing around your wife, people are probably going to make fun of you on the internet. There's a track record of that happening. Adam, I gotta ask you, what makes you think that you'd be able to get away with it? Destiny, who you have here, hasn't been able to get away with it without getting memed on. People still like respect Destiny, but they still meme on him for it. It's one of the main things people make fun of Sneeko for. But I think Adam22 just thinks he's above that. He's just cooler than cool, you know what I mean? And he can rationalize it. He can intellectualize it because Lena's out there doing business. It's not like she's like a regular type actress on stage doing like stage kissing or whatever. She's getting fully blown out, buddy.
After she actually did it, I'm not gonna lie, I did feel kind of odd. You know?
I did feel kind of odd. He's saying, yeah, you're trying to sound cool. You're trying to sound like this is all just like above the table, you know what I mean? But you sound like this guy named iDubbbz right now, you know what I mean? Being like, oh, this is not weird at all. This is totally cool. But you don't feel cool about it whatsoever.
Hey, but
With
Chris,
a little bit of
like
that
I'm all
feeling in
hood.
the belly,
See?
you know?
Yeah, feeling in the belly. That's the sick feeling in the belly that I was talking about earlier that I think 99% of people would feel. You know what I mean? Now, clearly, I don't work in that industry, and I'm sure people in that field think that this is just business as usual. But when you're a figure on the internet, you're gonna get goofed on for it, okay? Now, I don't care what kind of relationship you're in, if you're monogamous, polygamous, you know, I don't care what you got going on or how you're doing it. But when it's broadcast to the world and you're trying to monetize it as like a business or whatever, it just adds a bunch of layers of cringe to it. So all of that is just to say I can totally see why people are calling him a cuck for this clip. On top of being called a predator and a pervert for inappropriate messages that he sent like 10 years ago to like a 16-year-old that he said that he didn't do anything physical with until she turned 19. But 16 to 19 being in the DMs, that leads to grooming allegations, you know what I mean? I'm not here to make any of those allegations. I don't have enough facts to be like Adam22 did all this stuff, but people have labeled him as a predator, as a pervert, and now as a cuck, and that's a hard reputation to be living with, be it true or not. It's on the internet. So this is how Adam22 made the announcement, but there was another party involved. The wife, Lena the Plug, and she also made the announcement. Look how excited she is. Now, in Adam's version, he's a little bit squeamish. He's going back and forth. He ended up saying that it made him feel a little bit sick to the stomach. You know what I mean? Try to like cope and rationalize. Lena, not the case.
Hey guys, guess who I'm shooting with today?
Guess who I'm shooting with today? God damn, she's so hyped. Dude, she didn't want to work with other dudes, Adam. She wanted to other dudes, okay? Look how hyped she is for this. Oh, and here he comes.
It's finally happening. Wow, I did not know you were.
It's finally happening. She's so hyped as this guy back here is just bouncing his boobies around.
Gonna do that.
Look at the glee, the utter jubilation on this woman's face. Well, I'm glad that you guys are finally making the content that makes you happy. Because, you know, out here being a content creator, it's all about making the kinds of content that's going to be monetarily beneficial to you, but you want to do stuff that makes you happy. And I'm so glad that this kind of podcast stuff and this kind of work that you're doing over here is making you happy. I don't predict that this ending badly at all. This is going to be glorious. Now, if you're expecting me to give you the drop date of this video, well, I don't have that clearly. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But I am pretty sure that once it does drop, it might end up being one of the most viewed versions of this kind of entertainment. Everybody's going to want to see Adam22 just get like cocked by this giant man. What an absolute world we live in. Adam22, you are an interesting human being, my friend. But before we get out of here, there is this content creator. We've talked about her before, that surprise witness. She talks about like the Bam Margera type stuff. She did like a supercut that's 11 minutes long. I just want to show the first couple seconds.
There's a lot more income in just selling yourself as the product, you know? I don't have to worry about brand partnerships. Like, film yourself, edit yourself, and sell yourself. In the beginning, I was a little bit jealous, but like never in an overt way. It's work. Yeah. So, and I don't know if I could do that with any partner I've had or any partner.
Cope. Everyone's just like lying to themselves. Nobody feels okay with this. Oh, so at first I was kind of jealous, but I realized it was no big deal. This is work. So yeah, go check this out. You'd expect that the surprise witness would come on with some commentary, but no, it's just like a supercut of all the awkwardness that is involved here. And then this is Adam22 being like, oh yeah, so you're 23 and you joined me and Lena in a scene or whatever, and your boyfriend back home is actually a big fan of me. How weird was that? So cringe, so weird, so bad. What a bad look, what a bad guy. But anyway, he's an enemy of the channel and you know how it goes. We gotta make fun of them around here. But until my next upload, you can watch another upload.